talk about the Fallout series. I'm a Fallout player. I played a lot of New Vegas back in the day. In fact, Fallout New Vegas was my first Fallout game I ever played. No lie. I wasn't sure at first, but then I had so many choices. I had so much fun. I liked the lore of the place. It was so engaging and engrossing that I couldn't help but fall in like with the game, then fall in love with the lore. So when a series came out, I couldn't help but yes, I have to watch it. I also played Fallout 4 and a little bit of Fallout 3, and I haven't played Fallout 1 yet. I dabbled in it. I never touched Fallout 2. Let's focus on the TV series that came out for it. Fairly recently, in fact. You can watch all 8 episodes on Amazon Prime. Before we begin, I would just like to say thank you for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. By the way, heavy spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen Fallout, then please watch it. It's really good and you won't be disappointed. That's a guarantee from me to you. Now, without further ado, let's begin. So I'll just start with the big thing that I think consider the big thing is basically the death of a major faction. So they could go back and say, "Oh, well, wait, not everybody is dead," but let's be realistic here. You know what? Let's just call the faction out the NCR. The NCR is basically one of the biggest factions in the Fallout universe. It starts with Fallout 1 and it existed all the way to Fallout 4, I believe. I don't know if I didn't see any hints about the NCR in Fallout 4, but that's not important. What is important is that they have decided to destroy the NCR. Now, whatever you may think about it, that's huge. That's big. And that's upset a lot of people. And I'm on the fence of whether or not to be upset. On one hand, it's a major faction, a lot of characters, a lot of places and things, just a lot of things about that. A lot of storytelling potential is now gone. Like a lot of characters, a lot of locations are going to be gone. But on the other hand, it really established the show's villain, Henry, or Hank as he's called, as like the big bad of the show. However, they could have just used a regular city. They didn't need to use Shady Sands. But at the same time, let's be real here. Do you think Bethesda is going to drop a new Fallout game in the next couple of years? They were working on a new Elder Scrolls game, and they haven't even started work on it. And they're not even sure when they're going to release that. They're not even talking about a Fallout 5 or any other game set in the Fallout universe. So Fallout 76 and Fallout 4 are basically what we're going to get for a while. But put in the comments if you think they're going to put in an actual Fallout in the next few years. I'm curious what you think. But anyway, I digress. But the death of the NCR, I don't know how to feel about it right away. Like, I want to be given some time to think about it and really just sort of like pick it apart at a later date. But that's like a big issue a lot of people have with it, and that's a fair issue to have because it's a major faction that just got destroyed. But on the flip of that, we all know they're not going to make any major gains for some time now. And if they do, it's probably going to be far from the NCR territory. But at the same time, there was no need to destroy the NCR. Like, there's so many... I'm having so many thoughts about it. But I can't really, like, pinpoint which one I want to, like, focus in on. So I'm just sort of, like, scatterbrained about it. Like, well, what's this? What's that? What's about that? And the second big issue in the Fallout series that I had was the fact that Vault-Tec and the other major companies were the ones that dropped the bomb. Apparently, well, from what we saw in the finale, it could change in the next season, but for now, that's the story they're going with. Normally, I'd be angry about this. Like, I thought it would be more advantageous if they kept it a mystery. But at the same time, I think I like this changed a little bit more than I thought I would at the time I saw it. Think about it now, all of the major decisions that were made in that room were made by people who didn't have to suffer the fallout of their actions. They didn't have to live in a horrible wasteland that sprang forth. They were all consequence free from that decision. And I kind of like that because it mirrors our own world in many ways. While I don't like to get political, or should I say, I don't like to get too political on this channel, I do like that stance that the writers made and decided to go with. Would I have gone a different route? Maybe. Did I think that they should have said that the governments, or the various governments in the world, decided to go in all in on a nuclear war thinking they would win? I think that would have worked out better. But they made a decision, and we all have to live with it. Much like the earlier issue I had, I think I want to give this some time to ruminate my brain before I make a final decision on whether or not I think it's a bad idea or a good idea. But overall, I'm curious to know what you all think. Leave your opinion in the comments below, but try to be civil. The second half of the show, how do I put this? The second half of the show was weaker than the first 4 episodes, except for the finale. The finale was strong to me. The finale was like, yeah! It had an awesome moment with the ghoul facing off against the Brotherhood Power Armor Paladins. That was I'm gonna call it, you know what? That's not the right name, but I'm gonna call it that. The Power Armor Paladins. That fight was epic. The fight between the Brotherhood and the NCR Remnant was also epic. The whole conversation between Lucy and what was supposed to be the main villain was also awesome. Like, the whole thing was great. If you haven't seen it, just watch. Go ahead, just watch the whole thing. Come on. Even though I'm criticizing it in this video, I did really enjoy it. I strongly recommend you give it a shot. The other 3 episodes, second half of the show and season 1, they felt like they were trying to be goofy. If you understand what I mean, they were trying to be too goofy with it instead of being a very serious show. It felt like it was trying to be goofy. It felt like it didn't. I don't know. I didn't say it was terrible. I would say it wasn't as strong as the first half. The first 4 episodes were wow. They were powerful. They were impactful. And you felt everything the characters were feeling in that moment. Now, that's good television. That's good. Basically any media, whether it's book or a movie or a video game, if the audience isn't feeling what the characters are going through in that moment, then you didn't do a good job. And that's how I felt watching the first half. They did a great job. The second half, it was like, I wouldn't say it was terrible. It's just like, there's a lot more comedy in it. I think like they were trying to lighten the mood before they hit us with the big bop at the end, which is fair enough. Fair enough. The rest of my criticisms have to borderline on just stuff like nitpick stuff, like Maximus having that same flashback like 87 times during the whole show. Like, it was like the same flashback again and again. Like, please stop. Once or twice is more than enough. Once to establish it, and the second time to show greater details of what was happening. And finally, in the episode 4, the ghouls episode, I forgot the name of it, but it was episode 4, when she's strapped down by those robots, and by that robot, sorry, and it was getting ready to cut it with a buzzsaw, and she outsmarted. Well, what I would have preferred to see was her outsmarted by coming up with a logic problem or something Fallout-y, like she does a dialogue check and fools the robot or something like that. Instead, she kicks the saw blade into one of her straps and she escapes that way. I was like, I don't know. I prefer to see my heroines or heroes get out of situations like that by using intelligence rather than brute forcing it. It's much more impactful. It shows that the character is smart and can be just as capable in trying to outwit their opponents as well as outfight them. But that was those are like minor nitpicks. Well, they're not minor to me. I consider them kind of big, but you get the idea. But that being said, I really liked the show. Like, outside of those like three major things, I think the show is well done. It's well written. The music is taken from the games, and I like that because it gives the show a unique flavor compared to other post-apocalyptic shows. It feels very retro and at the same time very futuristic, which fits the Fallout franchise to a T. It's so perfect for the Fallout franchise. But at the same time, those three major issues, I don't know. I think I need time to sort of get comfortable with them, sort of relax with the idea of them being out there, and sort of just come to some sort of conclusion. Maybe in season 2, it'll be elaborated on, and maybe we'll get something. Hopefully, that will explain, or better yet, something that will make it all come together. That will knit the entire, that's right, sew the entire franchise together and make it something solid. But until then, I still recommend people watch it. You know what? I still recommend people watch it. Even though I'm not sure about those three things I mentioned. But those three things, those are personal to me. It might be different for the rest of you. Give it a chance. Before we go, I would just like to say, hey, thanks for stopping by, man, and watching this to the end. I really appreciate it. You don't know how much I appreciate it. In fact, if you like this video and you want to see more content like this from me, then please hit that like button. You have no idea how much that helps. The YouTube algorithm responds favorably to channels that get the like button pushed on videos and disfavorably to ones that don't. So hitting the like button helps my channel a great deal, and I appreciate that immensely. As I appreciate you watching it to the end immensely. That also helps out a great deal. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.